There's a lot of speculation at the time in the Observer. I want to ask you about this, that Steve Austin is growing unhappy with the World Wrestling Federation. Meltzer says at press time, it appears the situation is stable and not all that different from usual, but the biggest problem stemmed from Bill Goldberg getting a role in the upcoming Jean-Claude Van Damme movie Universal Soldier 2 that the producers originally wanted Austin in. They went to the WWF, and according to what WWF officials claim and told Austin, offered $55,000 for the role. The WWF turned down the offer as being too low without ever even consulting Austin. The producers went to WCW and signed Goldberg for the role, with some filming starting this week. Where the problem stemmed is from Austin's agent. He must have brought the movie up, and Austin knew nothing about it in the first place and told Austin that Goldberg was getting $250,000 for the role. Austin complained to McMahon, who gave him the $50,000 figure as opposed to what was offered, and said it was too low. And eventually McMahon put the heat on Jim Bell, who heads licensing, saying he was the one who fielded the offer and turned it down, and was blamed for not mentioning it to Austin first. McMahon actually ended up sending Austin a company letter of apology for how it was all handled, and it was pretty well smoothed over. What do you remember about Austin, Universal Soldier, Goldberg, and the company turning it down?
Well, I remember Jim Bell finally getting fired.
Yeah.
He didn't make the cut, as they say. And he should have communicated, obviously, the information. Anytime you're dealing with your top guy, you go the extra mile. Would you have done that for Al Snow? No. Would you have done it for Austin? Yes. Whatever communication should have gone Austin's way should have traveled that direction. And if I had been involved in the decision making of this scenario, and I wasn't, I wouldn't have even entertained a $50,000 offer. It's not enough money. I mean, Austin made more money than that at lots of times at pay-per-views. Yes. So that wasn't his mark. It wasn't his price point. So, but Jim Bell made a mistake there, and he wasn't a bad guy. I just see him around. Sometimes I wondered what he did, but so what? But it was a cluster, and it was all because of a lack of communication. We've talked about that here. Pro wrestling is not heavy on corporate communication. It never has been. Now, maybe it's getting better. I know it is in AEW. When I need information, I can get it.
Right.
And I do get it. And I have the support and the communication of my owner. And sometimes Vince didn't give the atmosphere, or provide the atmosphere of someone approachable. And he certainly, to some people like Jim Bell, who didn't see him that much, wasn't approachable and intimidating. He's also intimidating. So, it was just one of those scenarios where a lack of communication led to a very negative outcome.